Hello and welcome to Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, the 41st season of Sims 4 Survivor. And as was the case for the actual show, Survivor, we are sort of starting a new era of the series. And that is for a number of reasons, but specifically for one particular reason, which I will get into momentarily. As you can already see by this cast list here, you probably do not recognize any of these Sims, and that is because I made every single one of these Sims, and that's going to be the big change moving forward, as I am not going to be purchasing any more packs for The Sims 4 due to the Saudi buyout. I do not feel comfortable giving them any more of my money, and because of that, I'm not gonna have any more new pre-made Sims in my game. And for that reason, I don't really have any newbie seasons. So I had pretty much two options. One was to just stop doing these altogether, which I definitely considered. And option number two would have been to just do returnee seasons from here on out, but I don't think that would have been all that fun. So I chose to go a different path, and instead of using the pre-made Sims in the game, I'm going to be making my own Sims, some of which I have made years ago, I guess, but they are going to be competing instead of any of the pre-made Sims. And I guess I'm gonna be watching out for the reception to this, because maybe I'll renege on this, I don't know, we'll see. But either way, let's just introduce our cast here. First up, we have the Asphalt Tribe, named after one of the lots in Newcrest that we are playing on and that this tribe is staying on. First up here, we have Byron Snooze, who is a sim I made specifically for this. He is sort of like the male counterpart to Kitty Lou, I guess. He's just like a chill guy. He wants to take a nap or something. I don't know. He's retired. His working days are over. It is his time to live his life for himself. And so he was like, I'm going to try to do something new. I'm going to compete on Sims 4 Survivor. Next up, we have Calvin Kirby, who is a teenager, a high school student. He has an interest in fashion, likes to wear fun, colorful clothing. And yeah, here he is. Next up, we have Gina Kimber. This is another sim that I made specifically for this, so I don't really have a backstory for her. I was using just the backyard stuff pack for her, so I don't know. Maybe she likes ice cream or something. I don't know. No, wait, that's not backyard stuff. That's Cool Kitchen. She likes the slip and slide. Next up, we have Magdalene Von Freeze. This is a sim that I made for my Oops All Occult series that I ended up abandoning because I got kind of bored with it. But she is an ancient vampire. She has lived for centuries. And what is she doing here? I don't know, but she's here. Then we have Tio Corazon, who is a sim that I have used for a number of one-off videos here and there. I used him recently in a video where I was trying out businesses and hobbies and seeing if it was cross-pack compatible. And that video did pretty well, so yeah. Tio, a sim that I really love. I made him specifically after Lovestruck came out, I think. As you can tell, he's wearing a lot of Lovestruck items. I was play testing stuff, so I made him and jumped into Ciudad and had some fun playing as Tio. In my casual Let's Play, he died 5 seconds after I started playing. So I ended up having to cheat Hector Laurent into my household, and I had Hector become a spellcaster so he could revive him, and then they ended up sort of in a throuple with the ring bear, which was why I was testing that, because I wanted to see what the whole ring bear storyline was. But yeah, anyway, that was kind of wild. And then finally, on this tribe, we have Trish Everyday, who is just your average everyday woman. This is a sim that I made for my legacy challenge when I was doing Villainous Valentine. I needed some couples to put into my save, married couples, so I could, date them and have them leave their spouse. And Trish was one of those unfortunate victims. She ended up falling in love with, I think it was Margot, who was my Gen 3 sim, and she left her husband and then Marco dumped her, so yeah, that was the whole thing. Anyway, she's here on Sims 4 Survivor. Then we have the Avarice Tribe, also named after the lot they are going to be staying on. First up, we have Clay McCaughlin. He is a sim that I made for a household of a bunch of sexy sims that I threw into my save file when I needed some single sims to date. I don't think I ever ended up dating any one of those single sims, so they were just kind of chilling in my save file and doing their own thing. But yeah, Clay is here. Not really much going on with him. He's just like a sexy man, I guess. Not to be confused with Sexy Man, the character. Yeah. Then we have Dion Mustang. She is an elder. She is really into gardening, just like an old woman who likes to chill at home, garden. She's also retired, like Byron. Then we have Iana. We don't really know who she is or where she came from or how she even came to be here. She just kind of showed up one day and we were kind of afraid of her, so we put her on the show for whatever reason. Anyway, she's here, I guess. We'll see how she does. Then we have Paz Oswald. He is a werewolf that I moved into Moonwood Mill when I was playtesting werewolves a little bit. I was trying to see what the whole werewolf occult was about. And Pez, I love him. He's just like a very chill guy. He doesn't really need much in life. He likes the simple things in life. Moved him into like a dump and he just lived there and had a good time. Then we have Rhonda Plunder, who was the star of 2 different series I did, both of which flopped for a specific reason. I'll get to it in a second. She was the star of my Kleptomaniac challenge series, which I tried to do first in The Sims 3, but the Kleptomaniac trade in The Sims 3 it doesn't really work all that well. So I kind of got annoyed with it and just didn't want to, I just wasn't having fun with it. So I decided to drop that. And then when I started doing The Sims 4 content, like I moved on to The Sims 4, I decided to try it again because the Kleptomaniac trade is also present in that game. So I remade Rhonda and once again, the Kleptomaniac trade, it just wasn't working the way I wanted it to. So yeah, I ended up sort of ditching that as well. But it's okay. Rhonda, she's now here to compete on Sims 4 Survivor. And finally, for this tribe, we have Steve Jones. He is also from the Oops All Occults series, same as Magdalene. He is obviously an alien, but he wants to just blend in with people. He wants to be just a normal, average guy, but, you know, he's also an alien. Then our third and final tribe here, we have the Twin Oracle tribe, again, named after the lot that they will be staying on. First up, we have Chase Green. They are obsessed with the color green because their family name is green, so they wear all green. They changed their or dyed their hair green to represent that, and they're also very environmentally conscious. They do a lot of protesting and stuff like that. An ecological activist. Next up, we have Jax Karam, who is another non-binary sim. This was a sim that I made, I think, when I was playtesting Lovestruck. I made like a few single sims because I wanted to see how the whole Cupid's Corner app worked. But yeah, Jax is here. Then we have Malcolm Fitzherbert, which is another sim that I made specifically for this. He is kind of an honor student. He is an overachiever. He's trying to get into college, has high hopes for himself. And so, of course, he wants to win this thing and prove himself to be the best. Now we got Melanie Troy, who is another one of these sims that I made while playtesting Lovestruck. She is just a beautiful woman, model, actress, and there are rumors that wars have been waged in her name, but we can't confirm that either way. Then we have Rick Ogawa, who is kind of a shady guy. He is a door-to-door salesman and he kind of scams people, so I would not let him into my house. If you see him walking, pretend you're not home. Don't open the door or you'll end up with a really shitty knife set or something. I don't know. And then finally, we have the very first sim that I made in The Sims 4. We have Very Cool. This is a sim that is near and dear to my heart. I have not used her really for anything, but she was in the first ever video that I made for The Sims 4. I made like a really ugly house for her because I didn't know how to build at the time. And I was just playtesting, seeing what the game was. This was when The Sims 4 had just turned free to play, which is why I ended up going to The Sims 4 because I was always a Sims 3 girly until Sims 4 was free. So I decided to, let's try it out. Why not? And I have not stopped since. In that one video, she like started dating Clara Bjergsen, had her dump Bjorn, and then they moved in together and got married or something. I don't know. Either way, very cool. She's very cool, and she's here. That is our cast. I'm excited to see how this goes. Early on, I'm rooting for Steve. I would love to see him win. I would love to see Tio win. And I kind of rooting for Malcolm a little bit. I don't know. Also very cool. Would love to see her win. But yeah, it's a newbie season, so relationships unchanged, the profiles unchanged, and we're just gonna start. Oh, by the way, we are playing Worlds Apart. We start off with a twist, and we have to like pick a representative for the tribes. We got Trish for the Asphalt tribe. We got Clay for Avarice, and then Melanie for Twin Oracle. And they're gonna have to make a decision for something. This is the bag of rice or the idol clue. Trish is gonna pick Byron, Clay is gonna pick Steve, and Melanie is gonna pick Malcolm. And what are they gonna do? Trish and Byron, they take the beans. Oh, it was a bag of beans, not bag of rice. Okay, excuse me. Clay and Steve are gonna take the beans as well. And then Melanie and Malcolm, they take the idol clue. Okay. I can see that for them. I think they are both like in it to play. What is going on the beaches? Not really anything going on here yet. On this beach, there is a mild dislike between Rhonda and Pez. Okay. Otherwise, not much going on. And on Twin Oracle, not really anything going on. All right. Immunity is going to go to the Asphalt tribe as well as the Avarice tribe. They also get like fire making stuff. So it is Twin Oracle that is going to go to tribal tonight. On Asphalt, we see Tio find the idol immediately. Wow. Good for you, Tio. He is also bonding with Gina. So Tio already coming out strong. We also have Calvin with a major meltdown. Oh no. Maybe it's the hormones or something. On Avarice, what's going on here? We got Clay and Iana bonding slightly. We also have Clay and Dion with a minor disagreement, and Dion and Pez find something in common. I totally see that happening. They're both like kind of outdoorsy people, both pretty chill. But Clay and Iana, this could be a relationship to watch out for. Then on Twin Oracle, the tribe go into tribal. We got Chase and Jax with a minor disagreement. The NBs are fighting. But we also have Chase and Melanie bond strongly, and Malcolm and Melanie bonding strongly as well, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, they made this underhanded decision to get the idol clue. They do not find the idol, though. However, we do have our first alliance of the season. It's a final two between Chase and Melanie. Okay, are they going to control the vote tonight? Probably. In which case, Jax could be the first boot here. We'll see. Let's go to tribal. First tribal of the season, we got Chase, Jax, Malcolm, Melanie, Rick, and very cool. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I read the votes. First vote goes to Malcolm. 1 vote Malcolm. Second vote goes to Chase. 1 vote Malcolm, 1 vote Chase. Next one goes to Chase. 2 was Chase, 1 vote Malcolm. And the next one goes to Malcolm. We got 2 was Chase, 2 was Malcolm, 2 was left. And the next one goes to Chase. 3 votes Chase, 2 was Malcolm, 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to Malcolm. Okay, we are tied. It is 3 Malcolm, 3 Chase. What do you think happened here? Do you think Malcolm was like bonding with Melanie and seeing that Melanie and Chase were forming this alliance? So he was like, okay, we got to get rid of Chase here. And then Melanie and Chase were like, okay, Malcolm is on to us. We have to get rid of Malcolm. And each of them were able to get 3 votes. Interesting. But we're going to do a revote. And the first vote on the revote goes to Malcolm. 1 vote Malcolm. Second vote goes to Malcolm. 2 votes Malcolm. Third vote goes to Chase. We got 2 votes Malcolm, 1 vote Chase, and 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to the first person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest. It's Malcolm. Malcolm, the tribe has spoken. Unfortunate that he goes out there. Honestly, he probably should have tried to get into that alliance instead of going against them. But also, I think this is probably not a good move for the tribe as a whole. I mean, if they had gotten rid of Chase here, that would have been great for everybody aside from Melanie. And now they're kind of letting this duo run the game on their tribe. Either way, Malcolm, really wish he would have stayed. I think he could have been a really fun strategic character on this season, but at least he brought us a fun episode 1. So it is Jax, Malcolm, and Very Cool who vote for Chase. Chase, Melanie, and Rick vote for Malcolm. Okay, interesting that Rick sides with the duo. Then we got everybody voting the same on the revote, except Very Cool switches her vote from Chase onto Malcolm. Interesting, I guess. But it is possible that Jax, Rick, and Very Cool decide to form a 3-person thing and get rid of Chase and Melanie, maybe? I don't know, but it's not looking great for these 3. We're on episode 2 now. Twin Oracle has lost 1 member. On Asphalt, what is going on? We got Gina and Calvin with a medium dislike, or actually just everybody dislikes Calvin. After his meltdown, Gina doesn't like him, Tio doesn't like him, Trish doesn't like him, Byron doesn't like him. And then we got Tio and Gina with a small bond after they were bonding in the last episode, and nothing else going on. All right. On Avarice, we got Iana and Clay with a medium bond after bonding in the last episode. Rhonda and Pets with a mild dislike after fighting in the last episode. Dion and Clay also with a mild dislike after fighting in the last episode. And then not much else going on. On Twin Oracle, we got this new alliance. Melanie and Chase, they have a medium bond. And then not really anything else going on. Interesting. Okay. Immunity is going to go to the Asphalt tribe, as well as the Avarice tribe. So Twin Oracle going to go back to tribal. On Asphalt, what's happening? Tio has the idol. We got Byron and Calvin finding something in common, which has a lasting impact. And then Calvin and Magdalene bonding strongly, and Calvin and Gina finding something in common. Okay. Calvin trying to salvage his game here. He had that meltdown. He is going on an apology tour, and it works so well that they all decide to form an alliance. It's Calvin's alliance. We got Byron, Calvin, Gina, and Magdalene. Everybody that he's bonding with. Look at Calvin. Wow. Very nice recovery for him. And then on Avarice, we got Iana and Steve bonding slightly. That kind of makes sense. I mean, Steve is an alien. Iana, we don't know what she is or what's going on with her, but she's kind of alienish. She could be an alien. I don't know. On Twin Oracle, what's happening? Rick and Very Cool, they find something in common, and Very Cool is going to join Chase and Melanie. Interesting. So they are going to control the vote tonight. Does kind of make sense that they would pick up Very Cool after she flipped to their side in the revote. But she did also try to vote Chase out, so that's kind of weird. But okay. We're back at Tribal. We got the Twin Oracle tribe here. Once again, it is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Rick. 1 vote Rick. Second vote goes to Rick. 2 votes to Rick. Next vote goes to Jax. We got 2 votes Rick, 1 vote Jax. And the second person voted out of Sims for Survivor Newcrest, it's Rick. Rick, the tribe has spoken. Unanimous vote. Honestly, kind of weird that Rick goes out over Jax here. I would have thought that they would want to get rid of Jax instead, since Very Cool was bonding with Rick and Chase was fighting with Jax. But I don't know. Maybe they just didn't like Rick. Rick also voted with Chase and Melanie in the last episode. So yeah, very strange that he gets the boot over Jax here, but I guess. Whatever. It's a unanimous vote. Rick votes for Jax, and he's gone. All right. Short episode. Let's move on to episode number 3. On Asphalt. What's going on now? We got this new alliance. Calvin now has a medium bond with Gina and Byron. How does he feel about Magdalene? They have a small bond. Okay. So this alliance still pretty solid. Everybody said a 6 except for Magdalene. Tio still doesn't like Calvin. Trish still doesn't like Calvin. But that's okay because he has this alliance and they're at the bottom. However, Tio does have the idol. So that could be something. Tio and Gina have a small bond. And Gina and Byron have a small bond as well. So Gina with a very good social game so far. She does not like Magdalene though, which is not great because they are together in this alliance here. Then we got Trish and Byron with a small bond. And Trish and Gina with a slight dislike. On Avarice. Iana and Clay with a medium bond still. They have not formed anything officially yet, but I assume that's probably going to be an alliance. Maybe they bring in Steve as well, since Steve and Iana have a small bond now. We have Dion and Clay still don't like each other. Rhonda and Pez still don't like each other. Iana and Dion with a small bond though. Pez and Clay with a small bond. And then not much going on at the end. On Twin Oracle, we have this trio. If they lose again, Jax is just gone, I'm pretty sure. Melanie and Chase have a medium bond, and that's the only relationship on the board here. Very cool, could flip on them, but it'll just result in a tie, right? So, I don't know. Let's go to immunity. Asphalt, they win immunity, as well as Twin Oracle. They win their first immunity of the season. Good for them. Avarice gonna go to Tribal tonight. On Asphalt, what's happening? Gina and Trish have a major fight. Oh no. And something else is happening. Tio is gonna join the 4-person alliance. So it's just everybody aside from Trish. And nobody likes Trish, I guess. Byron, though, resting at camp. He's snoozing. He's chilling. He's relaxing. Taking a nap. On Avarice, Iana impressing the rest of the team. And she forms an alliance. This is a very good time to take the reins of the game. Iana definitely seems to be the strongest player on this tribe. She is going to pull in Clay, who she's been bonding with. She brings in Dion, who she had a relationship with, and Pez as well, for some reason. I think Pez and Dion liked each other, so maybe Dion is bringing Pez in as well. So Clay was fighting with... No, Pez was fighting with Rhonda. Clay was fighting with... Was it Dion? I think Dion. So I think it might be Rhonda tonight. And who's the last one on this tribe? Steve. Steve was bonding with Iana. So yeah, it's probably going to be Rhonda tonight. What's going on Twin Oracle? Jax is impressing the rest of the team. And Chase and Melanie, they bond strongly. They're going to solidify their final 2. However, very cool. She's out of the alliance. Okay. I mean, she has no relationship with Chase or Melanie. That kind of makes sense. But also, what? I mean, just take Jax out. It's fine. We're at Tribal Council. The Avarice tribe is here at their first tribal. We got Clay, Dion, Iana, Pez, Rhonda, and Steve. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Rhonda. 1 vote, Rhonda. Second vote goes to Steve. 1 vote, Rhonda. 1 vote, Steve. Next vote goes to Rhonda. 2 votes, Rhonda. 1 vote, Steve. And the next one goes to Steve. Ooh. 2 votes, Rhonda. 2 votes, Steve. This could be a vote split. Next one goes to Steve. We got 3 votes, Steve. 2 votes, Rhonda. And 1 vote left. And the final vote goes to Rhonda. We are tied. It is 3 votes, Rhonda. 3 votes, Steve. We're going to do a revote. I'm sure this is a vote split in case of an idol. The first vote goes to Rhonda. 1 vote, Rhonda. Second vote goes to Rhonda. 2 votes, Rhonda. And the third person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest. It's Rhonda. Rhonda, the tribe, had spoken. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Very well played by the majority alliance here, splitting their vote, making sure that they get at least one of them out. Rhonda, I think she, her game kind of ended as soon as she was fighting with whoever she was fighting with. Pez, was it? I think. And after that, she didn't do anything. So, yeah, makes sense that she goes out here. Rhonda votes are Dion, Iana, and Steve. And then we got Clay, Pez, and Rhonda voting for Steve. And everybody throws a vote on Rhonda on the revote. We move on to episode 4 on Asphalt. What's going on here? We got Tio with the idol still. This alliance is now a 5-person alliance, which is the whole tribe aside from Trish. Trish and Gina with a medium dislike. Calvin and Byron with a medium bond. Gina and Calvin with a medium bond. Tio and Calvin with a mild dislike. That could be something contentious in this alliance here. But we also have Magdalene with a medium dislike toward Gina. Gina with a medium dislike toward Magdalene as well. That's also not great. So this alliance is very shaky. Trish and Calvin with a mild dislike. Trish and Byron with a small bond, actually. So Byron likes Trish. The only person on this tribe to like Trish, I guess. Tio and Gina with a small bond. And then Magdalene and Calvin with a small bond. On Avarice, nobody's found the idol still. We got this 4-person alliance, this newly formed 4-person alliance. Iana and Dion with a strong bond. Iana and Clay with a medium bond. Dion and Clay with a medium dislike. Ooh, that's not good. Then we got Steve and Iana with a small bond. Pez and Clay with a small bond. And then at the end here, Clay, Pez, and Dion don't like Steve. That definitely could change. It also seems that this dislike between Dion and Clay could be a crack in the alliance that Steve could find himself getting in there. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. On Twin Oracle, we now just have the final two again between Chase and Melanie, and they have an unbreakable relationship. Nobody found the idol also. Very Cool and Jax with a small bond, Melanie and Jax with a mild dislike, and then just slight bonds at the end. Look at that, Jax and Chase, even though they were fighting in the first episode, they haven't really, like, their relationship hasn't soured that much. It's only a slight dislike, like, that's not that bad. Reward goes to Asphalt. They win 3 hands on a rooster, and Avarice wins 10x. Nice. But immunity is gonna go to Avarice and Asphalt also. So the 4-person Twin Oracle tribe, they're gonna go back to tribal once more. And I do believe it's going to be a tribe swap in the next episode. So, I don't know. It's probably Jax tonight. On Asphalt, what's happening? We got Calvin and Gina finding something in common. All right. And Magdalene is impressing the rest of the team. She didn't have, like, the best relationships in the game on this tribe. So, I think this is pretty good for her. I think she needed to show herself to be a worthy team member and alliance member. So, yeah. Good for you, Magdalene. On Avarice, Clay and Iana bond strongly. But Clay also has a major meltdown and has a major fight with Steve. Okay. Clay, very messy. If he gets into a disadvantageous tribe swap here, he could be done because he's kind of alienating his tribe. They might turn on him. On Twin Oracle, Jax finds the idol. Whoa, that changes everything. They definitely should play Denied. We also have Jax and Melanie bond slightly. Melanie also impressing the rest of the team, and so is Chase, and Very Cool is back in the alliance. Okay, so Jax is gonna play the idol and idol somebody out. Who will they idol out? Probably Chase, right? They are bonding with Melanie, and they did have that small bond with Very Cool, but Chase is now impressing the rest of the team, so maybe Jax will decide to cut Very Cool? I don't know. Melanie, though, is injured, but she's fine. It's okay. We're at Tribal. We got the final 4 of the Twin Oracle tribe. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Jax stands up. They are going to play the idol on themselves. That makes a lot of sense. Any votes cast against Jax will not count. I'll read the votes. The first vote goes to Jax. Does not count. Jax. Does not count. Jax. Does not count. So Jax's sole vote is going to eliminate someone. And the 4th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest is going to be Very Cool. Okay, Very Cool. The tribe has spoken. I think Very Cool should not have rejoined that alliance. I think she should have probably tried to group up with Jax here, and then they could have sort of taken the reins of the tribe and taken out either Melanie or Chase. However, I think even if Jax almost got voted out here, I think they're gonna be fine, because I think once we get back to their beach, they are gonna stick as a 3, since they are probably going into this tribe swap. So they could be fine. I don't know. But either way, Very Cool, very strange game for her. It's a unanimous vote against Jax, but they play the idol and idol out Very Cool. Very impressive move against Very Cool. And we'll move on to episode number 5, where we do in fact have a tribe swap. So the new Asphalt tribe is Byron Snooze, Gina Kimber, and Tio Corazon, who are staying on Asphalt. Coming on over from Avarice, we have Gion Mustang, Iana, and Steve Jones. And then Melanie Troy gets kind of swap screwed here. The sole member of the Twin Oracle tribe entering this new tribe. On the new Twin Oracle tribe, we have Chase Green and Jax Karam remaining. Coming on over from Asphalt, we have Calvin Kirby, Magdalene One Freeze, and Trish Everyday. And then coming on over from Avarice, we got Clay McCaughlin and Pez Oswald. Okay, interesting tribe swap. Clay is in an alliance with Pez, but Clay has also been alienating his whole tribe. I think he really needed Iana to keep him safe, so that could be dangerous. Over on Asphalt, these 3 former Asphalt members, they're all in an alliance together, so I think they're gonna stick together. I think the 3 Avarice members will also stick together, so Melanie, maybe a swing? Maybe she'll be fine? Calvin and Magdalene, they had a good relationship, so they're gonna stay. I think Chase and Jax are gonna set aside their differences and come together here on this swap tribe. And I think Trish is in trouble. I think Clay is in trouble. And I think Pez could be in trouble as well. I don't know. I think these four are gonna probably see eye to eye and come together. I don't know. I just get kind of a hunch. On Asphalt, what's happening? We have Tio with the idol. Melanie by herself. We got Byron, Gina, and Tio together. We have Dion and Iana together. They have an unbreakable relationship. Steve and Iana also with a medium bond. Do we see how Dion and Steve feel about each other? They have a mild dislike. That's not good. We also have Tio and Gina with a small bond. Tio and Byron with a mild dislike. Oh, that's not great. Gina and Byron with a small bond. So the former Asphalt members, they're not completely loyal to each other. This could break up. We should also remember that Tio was originally not in this alliance. He kind of just tagged along to them to save himself. So I can see him turning on at least Byron. I think he likes Gina. I think he'll stick with Gina. Right off the bat, we see that Melanie and Byron have a small bond. Okay. This is the first time they meet. I think it's kind of random, but okay. Melanie just like really likes his vibe, and Byron, I guess likewise, also likes her vibe. Okay, that could be a fun alliance. On Twin Oracle, Clay finds the idol. Whoa. Honestly, he might need it, so good for him. What's going on with the alliances? Nothing really. We got Chase by themselves. We got Calvin and Magdalene by themselves. We got Clay and Pez by themselves. And then we got Magdalene and Calvin with a medium bond. Pez and Clay with a small bond. Trish and Calvin with a mild dislike. And then not really anything else going on here. Interesting. Jackson Chase still with a slight dislike. Okay. Even though Chase was like impressing the team in the last episode, I think Jax might have made a mistake taking out Very Cool then. But I don't know. We'll see. Reward goes to the Asphalt tribe. They get cooking supplies. But immunity is going to go to Twin Oracle. I imagine a lot of people on this tribe are giving a sigh of relief because I see a lot of them. A lot of them could have been in trouble. But they're going to be safe. They're going to be able to maybe build something before they go to tribal. On Asphalt, what's happening? We got Dion and Melanie with a major fight. Oh no. We also have Iana and Tio with a minor disagreement. And a new alliance is forming. It's all of the former Avarice members. We got Dion, Iana, and Steve. That checks out. However, Dion fighting with Melanie is probably not great because Melanie is kind of the swing. So if the Asphalt members, the former Asphalt members, get to her, they could just vote out Dion and get Melanie in on that vote, and Dion is gone. It's not looking great. On Twin Oracle, we got Jax with a major meltdown. Oh no. Jax and Trish also bonding slightly. And then we got Calvin and Chase finding something in common. And something's going on with the alliance. Tio's out. Ooh. Okay, that changes things for Tribal. He might not vote with the Asphalt members. In which case, it could be Byron or Gina going out here. Alright, here we are, back at Tribal with the Swap Asphalt tribe. We got Byron, Dion, Iana, Gina, Melanie, Steve, and Tio. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Tio, he stands up. He is going to play his idol on himself. Okay, interesting. Any votes cast against Tio will not count. I will read the votes. First vote goes to Tio, does not count. Tio, does not count. Tio, does not count. Whoa. Iana, we got 1 vote for Iana, 3 votes for Tio that have not counted, 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Iana, 2 votes Iana, 2 votes left. And the 5th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, it's Iana. Whoa. Iana, the tribe has spoken. She was playing such a good game, but gets kind of swap screwed here. This has to be the former Asphalt members deciding to take out Iana, and they just weren't sure where Melanie was going to go, so that's why Tio played the idol. She definitely could have been a Tio vote, in which case he would have gone out here. But I imagine after fighting with Dion, she didn't really want to have anything to do with the Avarice members. And Tio kind of wasting an idol here, but also I think this is a smart idol play, even if it was theoretically an incorrect idol play. It is Byron, Gina, Melanie, and Tio who vote for Iana. That's the Asphalt plus Melanie group. And then we got Dion, Iana, and Steve voting for Tio. Now the question is, Dion and Steve, will they stick together in this newly formed 3-person thing now that there's just the 2 of them? I don't think so. Because I think Iana was sort of the glue holding them together. So this is a very good snipe for the Asphalt members, taking out Iana here. It also was kind of looking like Iana was the one to beat on the original Avers tribe. So wow, kind of a huge move here. We move on to episode 6. Asphalt down to 6 members, Twin Oracle still at 7. On Asphalt, what's happening? We got a new idol hidden. We got Dion now by herself in this alliance, and look at this. The final 2 between Dion and Steve now, loyalty 3, loyalty 4. Yeah, this is not gonna stick. Tio and Gina with a medium bond, Tio and Byron with a medium dislike. That's probably why Tio is splitting off from the Asphalt members. Tio, though, I guess he could form like something new. Maybe he could like pick up Melanie and Steve because they're sort of on a boat of their own. That could be interesting. We got Melanie and Byron with a small bond. We got Steve and Dion with a mild dislike. Dina and Byron with a small bond. Melanie and Dion with a mild dislike. And then just like bonds at the end. On Twin Oracle, what's going on here? We got Clay with the idol, the only idol in the game at the moment. Then we got Magdalene and Calvin with a medium bond. Paz and Jax with a medium dislike. Chase and Calvin with a medium bond. Trish and Jax with a small bond. Paz and Clay with a small bond. Jax and Chase with a mild dislike. And then we got Trish and Paz with a small bond. And Trish and Calvin with a mild dislike. Calvin bonding with Chase is kind of big. I think that's huge for Chase. I think that's going to keep them around in the game for a little bit. Jax is definitely in a little bit of trouble. Trish seems to be in trouble. That's kind of what I'm getting here. Clay, not as disliked as I thought he was, actually. Interesting. Reward goes to the Asphalt tribe. They win beef stew feast and hot chocolate. Nice. And then immunity is going to go to Asphalt as well. Not going to go back to tribal. Good for them. What's going on their beach? We got Melanie with a major meltdown. Oh no. Nobody found the idol yet. We also have Byron with a major meltdown. But Steve is impressing the rest of the team. Good for you, Steve. And this alliance is done. Unsurprising. On Twin Oracle, we got Clay and Jax with a major fight. Oh no. I think this is a Jax boot, probably. And Trish is impressing the rest of the team. Yes, definitely seems like a Jax boot. We do see that Calvin and Jax also have a small fight. Yikes. Okay. And this alliance, what's happening? Dion is out. That kind of tracks. She is not even on this tribe. She was here because of Iana, I'm pretty sure. So Clay and Paz are now in the final 2, I guess. Okay. We are back at tribal. We got the Twin Oracle tribe here, the swap Twin Oracle tribe. We got Calvin, Chase, Clay, Jax, Magdalene, Paz, and Trish. Magdalene is so purple. I kind of forgot she was on this season, to be honest. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. No stance. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Jax. 1 vote Jax. Second vote goes to Trish. 1 vote Jax, 1 vote Trish. And the next one goes to Magdalene. 1 vote Jax, 1 vote Magdalene, and 1 vote Trish. And the next one goes to Clay. What? 1 vote Clay, 1 vote Jax, 1 vote Magdalene, 1 vote Trish, and 3 votes left. What a strange vote spread here. And the next one goes to Jax. We got 2 votes Jax, 1 vote Clay, 1 vote Magdalene, and 1 vote Trish. And the next vote goes to Trish. 2 votes Trish, 2 votes Jax, 1 vote Clay, 1 vote Magdalene, and 1 vote left. And the 6th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest is going to be Jax. Jax, the tribe has spoken. Honestly, thought they would get voted out in much more of a blowout than this, but okay. Jax was able to get a few votes on their side, I guess. But it wasn't enough. This was kind of a weird tribal. But I think the writing was kind of on the wall for them. After the swap, they just started to fight with people. They weren't able to form a connection with their former tribe mate, Chase. They kind of let them just flounder by themselves. And yeah, but they did have a pretty interesting idol play before the swap, so at least they will be remembered for something. Jack's votes are Chase, Clay, and Pez. And then the Trish votes are Calvin and Magdalene. Jax throws a vote on Clay, and Trish throws a vote on Magdalene. Wow. Strange tribal. Strange tribal. We move on to episode 7, where we have the merge. This is the Crescent tribe, which is named after the lot where tribal council is being held this season. And the people who make the merge are Byron Snooze, Calvin Kirby, Chase Green, Clay McCaughlin, Diane Mustang, Gina Kimber, Magdalene Von Fries, Melanie Troy, Paz Oswald, Steve Jones, Tio Corazon, and Trish Everyday somehow made it here. All right, winner pick. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like Calvin is doing really well. I feel like Tio is gaining some momentum in this game. But honestly, everything is so scattered that I think anybody could take it. Melanie could take it. Melanie and Chase, they make it to the merge together, so they're reunited. I think Diane's game is over. I think Trish's game is over. I think Byron is in trouble. And otherwise, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Okay, let's see. What alliances do we have? We have the final two between Chase and Melanie. They are reunited. Do they have an unbreakable relationship? Yes. Also, Diane and Clay have an extreme hatred. What? Okay. Otherwise, we do have Byron, Calvin, Gina, and Magdalene in their original Asphalt Alliance. Tio was in that. He's gone now. But if they stick together, they could be a very strong 4. However, we do know that Tio knows about them, so he could spill the beans about the Alliance. Now that he's no longer in it. We also have Clay and Pez in the final 2, and it seems to be a pretty solid final 2. I think they'll stick together probably. Clay has the idol, only idol in the game. However, we do have another idol hidden, a merge idol, so that might not be the case for too long. Other relationships, we've got Tio and Byron with an extreme hatred, Steve and Melanie with an extreme hatred, and Trish and Gina with an extreme hatred. Okay, a lot of hatred on this season. We got Trish and Pez with a strong bond. That's random, but okay. Gina and Calvin with a strong bond. Melanie and Dion with a medium dislike. Steve and Clay with a medium dislike. And then Tio and Gina with a medium bond. I think Tio and Gina is a relationship that we have to watch out for. I think they definitely, like, they're so under the radar that I think they could come forth and be a little, like, sneaky about it. And if they decide to form something together. Steve having this dislike toward Clay is not great because he was on Avarice. So it's just Clay, Pez, and then Steve and Dion who are not in anything anymore. So the Avarice tribe seems to be in trouble. I don't know. Let's go to immunity. Steve, he wins the first immunity of the season. Good for him. I think he could have been in trouble, so I think this is pretty good for him. And he doesn't stop there because he also finds the idol. Okay, so we got Clay with an idol. We got Steve with an idol. We got Calvin and Dion with a minor disagreement. Dion not getting along with like anybody on this season, I guess. We got Clay and Trish also with a minor disagreement. Oh no. I think Trish could be like a consensus boot here, maybe. We also see something happening with the Alliance. Gina's out. Okay, interesting. But something else is happening. Pez and Trish. They're gonna form a final 2. Okay. They did have that strong bond, so that kind of makes sense, I guess. I do think if Trish survives this tribal, they could be a pretty solid 2. But I don't know. Otherwise, I think Clay could be gone here. I think Dion could be gone here. Clay also has an idol though, so maybe he'll play that. I think all of these hatreds are gonna come into play. We'll see. Let's go to tribal. We got the merge Crescent tribe here. We got Byron, Calvin, Chase, Clay, Dion, Gina, Magdalene, Melanie, Pez, Steve, Tio, and Trish. All here at the first tribal since the merge. Steve has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll rate the votes. The first vote goes to Byron. 1 vote Byron. Second vote goes to Gina. 1 vote Byron and 1 vote Gina. Next vote goes to Melanie. 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Gina, 1 vote Melanie, and 9 votes left. And the next one goes to Melanie. 2 votes Melanie, 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Gina. And the next one goes to Byron. 2 votes Byron, 2 votes Melanie, 1 vote Gina, 7 votes left. And the next vote goes to Gina. We are tied. 2 votes Byron, 2 votes Gina, 2 votes Melanie, 6 votes left. And the next vote goes to Gina. Okay. 3 votes Gina, 2 votes Byron, 2 votes Melanie. And the next vote goes to Byron. 3 votes Byron, 3 votes Gina, 2 votes Melanie, 4 votes left. And the next vote goes to Melanie. We're tied again. We got 3 votes Byron, 3 votes Gina, 3 votes Melanie, and 3 votes left. And the next vote goes to Melanie. 4 votes Melanie, 3 votes Byron, 3 votes Gina. And the next vote goes to Gina. 4 votes Gina, 4 votes Melanie, 3 votes Byron, and 1 vote left. So either it's going to be Melanie or Gina, or Byron is going to get the vote and it's a tie. And the final vote goes to the 7th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest. It's going to be Melanie. Melanie, the tribe has spoken. Unfortunate. I thought maybe she would have been able to lay low for a little bit, but I think the other 2 original tribes were like, I think we can't get rid of Melanie, split her off from Chase, make sure we don't forget about them and let them just sneak past. It's time to split them up. It is kind of unfortunate because Melanie almost stays here. They almost got Gina. They could have potentially taken out Byron here if they had convinced somebody to vote that way, but it doesn't happen. Melanie also is not a member of the jury. That's very unfortunate. All right, who is orchestrating this move? It's Byron, Calvin, Dion, Magdalene, and Steve. Okay, so that's that original Asphalt Alliance. Byron, Calvin, and Magdalene. And they pull in Dion and Steve, the 2 outsiders. Interesting. Gina votes are Chase, Melanie, Pez, and Trish. So they almost get Gina here. Which is strange because Paz and Clay don't vote together. If Clay had voted with Paz, why are they splitting vote? Clay, Gina, and Tio, they vote for Byron. Interesting. Okay. Maybe this is a vote split gone wrong. Maybe Melanie was not supposed to be the boot here, and Dion and Steve were supposed to vote for Byron, or like Byron and Gina or something. I think that's the case. Clay and Paz, I think they were trying to do a vote split, and they were trying to get Dion and Steve to vote with them, their former tribe mates, and they just did not do that. Interesting. Well, anyway, we move on to episode 8. We got the final 11 here. And I think we have officially started the jury. On Crescent, we got these 2 idols. Alliances now, Byron, Calvin, and Magdalene are in a final 3. That's the original Asphalt Alliance, and they seem to be sort of controlling the game at the moment. We got Clay and Paz in a final 2, and then Paz and Trish in a final 2 as well. Extreme Hatred are Dion and Clay, Tio and Byron, and then Trish and Gina, which is interesting because Tio did not vote for Byron, right? Or no, he did. It was Tio and Clay and Gina, right? We also have Trish and Paz with a strong bond, Gina and Calvin with a strong bond, Tio and Gina with a strong bond, and then Steve and Clay with a strong dislike, Calvin and Byron with a medium bond, Steve and Byron with a medium bond. Okay. So this is Byron's move. He pulls in Steve, and I guess Steve pulls in Dion or something. I don't know. Or maybe just Dion hates Clay and wanted to vote against him. Probably. We also have Magdalene and Calvin with a medium bond. Honestly, Calvin definitely has the best game right now because like he also has this strong bond with Gina, who is not in his alliance. Like she left that, but he still holds on to her. I think he's the most likely winner here, probably. Speaking of Calvin, he wins reward, and he is going to take Magdalene, Byron, Gina, and Chase on reward. Interesting. So that's his alliance. Gina also was in that alliance. He decides to pull her in to sort of confirm his relationship with her, I think. And then pulling in Chase, the underdog of the season. They don't have any alliances at the moment after losing Melanie. So that could be very, very useful for Calvin. Very smart Calvin. Immunity goes to Byron. Good for him. He did catch some votes in the last episode, so that's going to be useful. On the beach, what's happening? We have Byron and Steve bonding strongly. Okay. Byron locking Steve in. Very nicely done, Byron. We also have Dion and Trish bonding strongly. And we have a new alliance. It's Byron, Calvin, Steve, and Trish. Okay. Makes sense that Steve is here joining up with Byron and Calvin, but why is Trish here and not Magdalene? I don't know. But also Magdalene is resting at camp. She's been in the sun too long. She needs to lay down in the shade for a little bit. She's also so purple. She's not on this season, but whatever. We'll go to Tribal. The Crescent Tribe, they're back here at Tribal. We got Byron with the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Steve, he stands up. He is going to use his idol on himself. Any votes cast against Steve will not count. I will read the votes. And the first vote goes to Steve does not count. Steve does not count. Steve does not count. Steve does not count. Wow. Steve does not count. 5 votes not counted. Tio. We got 1 vote Tio. 5 votes left. The next one goes to Dion. 1 vote Dion. 1 vote Tio. 4 votes left. And the next one goes to Dion. 2 votes Dion. 1 vote Tio. 3 votes left. And the next one goes to Dion. We got 3 votes Dion. 1 vote Tio. 2 votes left. And the 8th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, first member of the jury. It's Dion. Dion, the tribe has spoken. So it was going to be a tied vote between Dion and Steve. Interesting. Who is the random Tio vote? I don't know. Maybe Chase. Maybe Chase doesn't know what's going on because they don't really have anything going on anymore. But either way, Dion, I honestly did not think she had much more game left in her. She just had very negative relationships. And kind of makes sense that she goes out here. A fun character though. It was fun having her on the season. So it is once more the Asphalt tribe getting their way here. It's Byron, Calvin, Magdalene, and then we get Steve and Tio voting for Dion. Trish is the random Tio vote. What? Didn't Trish just join an alliance with Byron and Calvin and Steve? Why are they not bringing her into this vote? Steve could have held on to his idol. Okay. Then we got Chase, Clay, Dion, and Gina and Paz voting for Steve. Also, Gina voting for Steve here, even though Gina's closest relationships are with Tio and Calvin, who are both voting for Dion here. This is kind of a strange tribal. Unless, like, Byron and Calvin knew about the idol and wanted to flush it, I don't know. That's possible. Either way, we're going to move on to episode 9. We got the final 10 here. And what's going on? We got a new idol hidden. Clay still has his. The alliances are the same, except now we have this new alliance with Byron, Calvin, Steve, and Trish. Extreme hatred, a lot of them. We got Tio and Byron, Trish and Gina. Actually, we don't have that many of them. It's only the 2 now. Because I think Dion had one and she's gone now. Okay. We got Steve and Byron with an unbreakable relationship. That kind of checks out. They were bonding in the last episode. Gina and Calvin with a strong bond. Magdalene doesn't like Gina. And vice versa. Okay. That was also the case in the pre-merge, right? We got Trish and Paz with a strong bond. We got Tio and Gina with a strong bond. Then we got Steve and Clay with a strong dislike. And Paz and Clay with a medium bond. Clay has been kind of quiet since the merge came. I think we are in for a visibility spike for him. He's probably going to play this idol at some point. Maybe in this episode even. Reward is going to go to this group of people here. It is Byron, Gina, Magdalene, Pez, and Tio. Good for them. But immunity is going to go to Tio. All right. Good for you, Tio. I don't think he really needed it, but that's okay. On the beach, Calvin finds the idol. Okay, maybe he did actually try to flush Steve's idol so he could get the idol. I don't know. But either way, he gets the idol now. Calvin definitely the strongest player on this season so far. We also have Clay with his idol, of course. And then we got Gina and Steve bonding slightly, and Byron and Calvin finding something in common. It does seem like Byron and Calvin are in a final 2 at this point. I just don't think they've like fully committed to it, but they are in these 2 different alliances together, and they are definitely running the show. We're back at Tribal. We got Tio with the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Calvin stands up. He's gonna use his idol on himself. What? Okay. Any votes cast against Calvin will not count. And Clay also stands up. He's gonna use his idol on himself. Also, any votes cast against Clay will not count. What? What is happening? I'll read the votes. The first vote goes to Gina. What? 1 vote Gina, 2 idols completely flushed. Okay. Next one goes to Steve. 1 vote Gina, 1 vote Steve. Next one goes to Steve. 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. And the next one goes to Chase. 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Chase, 1 vote Gina. And the next one goes to Chase. 2 votes Chase, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. The next one goes to Chase. 3 votes Chase, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. And the next one goes to Steve. 3 votes Chase, 3 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. And the next one goes to Chase. 4 votes Chase, 3 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. And the 9th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest. Second member of the jury, it's Chase. Chase, the tribe has spoken. What a weird tribal. Why are these two men using idols when it's just a consensus Chase boot? I don't know. Like, it's 6 Chase, 3 Steve, 1 with Gina. Like, what? What? Calvin, what are you doing? Like, Clay, I can sort of understand. Like, he doesn't really know what's happening. He's on the bottom. But Calvin probably orchestrated this boot of Chase. I don't fucking know. But anyway, Chase, after losing Melanie, their game was kind of over. So it doesn't really shock me that they go out here. But at least they made the jury, so good for them. Chase votes are Byron, Calvin, Gina, Magdalene, Steve, and Tio. The Steve votes are Chase, Clay, and Pez. And then Trish, once more, just randomly throwing a vote on somebody, throwing a stray vote on Gina. Trish has no idea what's happening in this game. She is in this alliance. Why are they not telling her what they're doing? I don't know. All right, episode 10. We got the final 9 here. I think the auction should be coming up soon, in which case there's going to be an extra vote entering the game, right? The idol also hidden. Nobody has an idol now. And the alliances have not changed because Chase was not a member of any of it. We got Trish and Gina with an extreme hatred, Tio and Byron also with an extreme hatred, and then unbreakable relationships are Steve and Byron, and now Calvin and Byron. So maybe Byron is now taking over as the #1 player on the season, because Calvin kind of flopped that idol play. Calvin doesn't have the best relationships anymore. A Byron win would be so funny. So sure, why not? Magdalene and Gina still don't like each other, right? It doesn't say how Gina feels about Magdalene, but it was a strong dislike in the last episode, so I imagine it has not changed at all. Steve and Gina with a strong bond now. Trish and Pez with a strong bond. That's the final 2. Tio and Gina with a strong bond. And then Steve and Clay still with a strong dislike. Yep, just as I said, we do have the auction. Calvin, he gets the banishment. Oh no. RP Calvin. But he does get the box of hidden rations. Clay, he wins fried chicken and waffles. Gina wins a large margarita. Tio wins the souvlaki. Steve wins the steak, wine, and cheese dipping sauce. Letters from home goes to all 7 of these. It is Byron, Clay, Gina, Magdalene, Pez, Steve, and Tio. And then the advantage goes to Pez. It's an extra vote, of course. Immunity goes to Trish. Okay. I mean, she's been completely on the outs, even though she's in an alliance, in like a majority alliance. I don't know what's going on in her game, but she gets immunity, so good for her. On the beach, we have Gina and Magdalene bonding slightly. All right. I don't know who's going out here. Probably just Clay. That would be my guess. We're back at Tribal. We got Trish with the necklace cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. And Pass. He's gonna use the extra vote immediately. I don't think he needed to do that, but okay. Pass now has 2 votes, and it is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Byron. 1 vote Byron. Second vote goes to Tio. 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Tio. Next vote goes to Steve. 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Steve, and 1 vote Tio. And the next one goes to Clay. 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Clay, 1 vote Steve, and 1 vote Tio. Weird vote turnout here. Next one goes to Steve. 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Clay, and 1 vote Tio. And the next one goes to Tio. We got 2 votes Tio, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Byron, 1 vote Clay, and 4 votes left. And the next one goes to Byron. 2 votes Byron, 2 votes Steve, 2 votes Tio, 1 vote Clay. 3 votes left. What a weird tribal. What's happening? Maybe using that extra vote actually makes a lot of sense because the vote is so spread out here. The next one goes to Tio. 3 votes Tio, 2 votes Byron, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Clay, and 2 votes left. And the next one goes to Steve. 3 votes Steve, 3 votes Tio, 2 votes Byron, 1 vote Clay, and 1 vote left. It could be a tie, or it is going to be Tio or Steve. And the 10th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, 3rd member of the jury, is going to be Tio. Tio, the tribe has spoken. I don't think this is like a huge blow to the majority alliance, but it is also not great for the majority alliance because he was voting with them, but he was also not in that alliance. So I don't know. If Pez is the cause of this, I think he had bigger fish to fry than Tio. I think he should have just let him stay in the game, but I don't know, whatever. Either way, Tio, he didn't really make any new alliances. I think him and Gina should have formed an alliance, but they just never did that, even though they had a really good relationship. So I don't know what was going on with him, but anyway. Tio votes are Byron, Calvin, Magdalene, and Trish. Okay, so it's not even Pez. Clay and Pez, they vote for Steve. Pez uses his extra vote on Steve as well. Then we got Gina and Tio voting for Byron. Okay, if Gina and Tio had just voted with Clay and Pez here, they could have gotten Steve out. Steve is a random Clay vote. I guess that makes sense. Steve hates Clay, but he was very close to getting voted out. So Steve, watch out. Be careful. Weird Tribal, we're going to move on to episode 11. We got the final 8 here. I think our final 3 is going to be Byron, Calvin, Steve at this point, with probably a Byron win. Like, who else could it even potentially be? Like, Clay is not well liked. Pez is kind of flopping a little bit. Trish, I don't know what the hell she's doing. Magdalene is so purple. And Gina has nothing going on. All right, on the beach, we still have an idol. Nobody's found it yet, so I guess there is still, like, some plays to be made here. Also forgot that Pez and Trish have this final 2, which is pretty strong. So, like, maybe that's why Trish is voting just randomly. She doesn't want to show her hands, I guess. Either way, alliances still the same. Steve and Byron with an unbreakable relationship. Also Calvin and Byron. And now Steve and Gina. Okay. That could be something. Maybe Steve and Gina try to form something. Trish and Gina have an extreme hatred. Gina and Calvin with a strong bond. And then we got Trish and Pez with a strong bond. Steve and Clay with a strong dislike. Pez and Clay with a medium bond. Trish and Byron with a medium bond. And then Magdalene with a medium bond toward Calvin. Does not say how Calvin feels about Magdalene, but I imagine it's similar. They have been allies for like the entire game. Reward is going to go to this group of people here. It's Calvin, Magdalene, Pez, and Steve. But immunity is going to go to Byron and Magdalene. So it's best man, best woman, I think. Yeah. Magdalene finally doing something in this game. Byron winning his second immunity. So Byron, baby, watch out. I think your threat level is kind of showing here. On the beach, Pez finds the idol. Nice. Good for him. Honestly, he probably needs it. So that's going to be useful. We also have Gina and Steve bonding strongly, and Byron and Trish with a minor disagreement, and then Gina and Steve with a small fight. Interesting. So Gina and Steve, they bond, then they fight. I don't know. I think they're like, they want to make something happen, but they're just like not in the same place in the game. Byron and Trish having this disagreement, that's also not great for Trish. She is already at the bottom of that large alliance that she's in. So I don't know. I think it's going to be Clay tonight though. But Pez might whip out the idol. We're back at Tribal. We got Byron and Magdalene both with immunity necklaces. They cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Pez. One vote Pez. Second vote goes to Steve. One vote Pez and one vote Steve. Next vote goes to Gina. One vote Gina, one vote Pez, one vote Steve. And the next vote goes to Pez. 2 votes Pez, 1 vote Gina, 1 vote Steve, and 4 votes left. And the next vote goes to Steve. 2 votes Pez, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina, 3 votes left. And the next vote goes to Pez. We got 3 votes Pez, 2 votes Steve, 1 vote Gina. And the next vote goes to the 11th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, 4th member of the jury. It's Pez with an idol in his pocket. What? Pez, the tribe has spoken. What the hell is he doing? Play that damn idol. You're been at the bottom. Like, obviously, you're the one potentially going out here. But whatever, he doesn't play it. Pez voted out. Maybe he thought Clay was going to get the votes. And maybe that's why Clay is still here, because, like, he's not a threat to anybody. So they're just like, leave him in. It's fine. But honestly, I think if Pez plays the idol here, gets Steve out, I think he could have been in a very good spot. But yeah, I don't know. Pez, he kind of flopped. He flopped this season. So Pez votes Byron, Calvin, Gina, Magdalene, and Steve. Clay and Pez vote for Steve. And then Trish, of course, throws a random hinky vote on Gina. Not sure what she's doing at all. She did have that final 2 with Pez, so that kind of tracks. But yeah, I don't know. Is Trish just go to the end at this point? Probably. All right, we got episode number 12. We got the final 7 here. And Steve, he finds the hidden immunity idol. Second idol for Steve. Good for him. Otherwise, alliances have changed because we have lost both of Pez's final 2s. We got now Byron, Calvin, and Magdalene in a rock solid final 3. They've been in this since that they pretty much day 1, right? Then we got Byron, Calvin, Steve, and Trish in their 4-person thing. Trish, kind of not really even in this alliance. She's definitely at the bottom here. But she's hanging in there, I guess. Interesting, though, that Byron is more loyal to Steve than he is to Magdalene. Unbreakable relationships are Calvin and Byron. We got Steve and Byron, and that's it. Then we got Trish and Gina with an extreme hatred. We got Gina and Calvin with a strong bond. Steve and Clay with a strong dislike. Steve and Gina with a medium bond. Magdalene and Calvin with a medium bond. And then Steve and Magdalene with a mild dislike. Okay. Gina and Byron with a small bond. And Magdalene doesn't like Gina still. Reward is going to go to not Steve. He cannot participate nor win, but it is Byron, Magdalene, and Trish. However, immunity goes to Calvin. Good for him. Don't think he was in trouble, but sure, why not? His second win, right? I don't know. I don't remember. On the beach, what's happening? We've got Byron and Gina with a minor disagreement, and then they bond. Gina has such a strange game. She's like fighting with people, but then bonding with people. I don't know what she's doing, but this could be her boot. But honestly, it's probably just Clay. But also, I've been saying it's gonna be Clay for like 5 tribals. So I don't know. I do think this time around it is gonna be Clay. All right, we're a tribal. Calvin has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Nobody stands up. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Clay. 1 vote Clay. Second vote goes to Gina. 1 vote Clay and 1 vote Gina. And the next vote goes to Clay. 2 votes Clay. 1 vote Gina. And the next vote goes to Clay. 3 votes Clay. 1 vote Gina. And the next vote goes to Gina. 3 votes Clay. 2 votes Gina. 2 votes left. And the next vote goes to the 12th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, 5th member of the jury. It's Clay. Clay, the tribe has spoken. What a weird game for him. It is kind of insane that he lasted this long. I imagine the other Gina vote is probably Trish throwing a random hanky vote once more. She also hates Gina, so that kind of tracks. But yeah, Clay's time was up. It has been up. He honestly should have been out episodes ago at this point, but it finally caught up with him. I think he was just like a consistent decoy vote. Everybody was like, yeah, it's going to be Clay tonight. And then it was never Clay. Clay votes are Byron, Calvin, Gina, Steve, and Trish. And then Clay and Magdalene vote for Gina. Oh, interesting. Maybe Magdalene is throwing a vote on Gina in case Clay has an idol. Probably. That kind of has to be the case because Magdalene, she is definitely like voting with Byron and Calvin, and they were probably just like, Magdalene, throw a vote on Gina. If Clay has an idol and votes for somebody else, we can just vote Gina out on the revote. That kind of tracks. But congratulations to Trish. I think it's the first time that she votes correctly. Only took her 12 episodes, but we got there. All right, we're at episode 13. We got the final 6 here. What's going on now? We got Steve with the idol. These alliances are still the same. Unbreakable relationship is still Steve and Byron, and Calvin and Byron, and now Gina and Calvin. Okay, interesting. Trish and Gina still hate each other. We got Trish and Byron with a medium bond, Steve and Gina with a medium bond, Steve and Magdalene with a medium dislike, Gina and Byron with a medium bond, and Magdalene and Calvin with a small bond. So Calvin could make a move here and try to form something with Gina if he sees that he's going into a losing final 3 with Byron and Steve. He could also take Magdalene. Like, if Calvin takes Magdalene and Gina into the final 3, I think he wins. Hands down. Also, look at this. Magdalene and Calvin, they are now at a small bond. They used to have a medium bond. So that is dropping. Maybe Magdalene is recognizing that she is at the bottom of this trio here. Reward goes to Byron, Calvin, and Magdalene. The trio. But immunity goes to Calvin again. Good for him again. You know what? If he's gonna make a move, I think tonight is the episode to make a move. Is he gonna do it? I don't think so, but we'll see. We'll see. On the beach, we got Steve with the idol. We got Byron and Gina bonding slightly. Calvin and Steve bonding strongly, and Calvin and Trish with a major fight. I think probably a consensus Trish boot then, right? That's my guess. I think Calvin is talking to Trish and be like, you're gonna go. Sorry. It's your turn. All right, we're a tribal. Calvin has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now is the time to do so. Nobody stands. I'll read the votes. First vote goes to Magdalene. 1 vote, Magdalene. Second vote goes to Gina. 1 vote, Gina. 1 vote, Magdalene. And the next vote goes to Magdalene. 2 votes, Magdalene. 1 vote, Gina. And the next vote goes to Gina. 2 votes, Gina. 2 votes, Magdalene. 2 votes left. Interesting that Trish is not getting the boot. Next vote goes to Magdalene. 3 votes, Magdalene. 2 votes, Gina. 1 vote left. That is kind of weird. Is Magdalene getting the boot? What? Next vote goes to the 13th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, 6th member of the jury. It's Magdalene. What? Magdalene, the tribe has spoken. Why would Byron and Calvin let go of her? That is crazy. I think Calvin has officially lost the game, right? Because I think he needed Magdalene. I think he needed her at the final 3 to be a goat to take to the end. And I also think he needed to link up with Gina. But what is he doing? I don't know. But Magdalene, she was so purple. She was barely on this season. So I'm not even that sad to see her go. I think it was her time. So it is Calvin, Gina, Steve, and Trish who vote for Magdalene. Byron and Magdalene vote for Gina. What? So maybe Magdalene was a goat for Byron and not for Calvin? Maybe it is a move that he's making here. Maybe that's why Trish was fighting with him, because she didn't really want to be involved in a blindside on Byron, but then folds anyway. I don't know. Interesting. Interesting move. But either way, we're going to move on to the finale. We got the final 5 here entering the finale. We got Byron Snooze, who I think is our most likely winner here. He has had probably the best relationships on this season. He has been controlling every single tribal aside from the last one. And I think it just depends on if Calvin remains loyal to him or not. Is he going to try to flip on over to Gina? Maybe he sees a winning scenario for himself with Gina and Trish at the final 3. I don't know. But Byron does have a good relationship with Calvin. He does have a good relationship with Steve. So he could be safe. We'll see, I guess. Now we got Calvin Kirby, who could win. I don't know. I think losing Magdalene here is not great. Or I guess not even losing her, like letting go of her here is not great. I think he needs to take out Byron. I think people are going to look at Byron and be like, well, Calvin, you and Byron, you had the same game. And Byron he played it better. So yeah, I think he's going to go into a final 3 with Byron and lose to him. That's going to be my guess. But if he does flip on him, I think Calvin wins. Next up, we have Gina Kimber. Kind of surprising that she's still here. She's definitely been at the bottom for basically since the merge, right? She has held on mainly due to her social game. She has had some good relationships. And I think she could win if she gets to the jury and argues her case as like the underdog of the season. And she does have some allies on the jury. Like she has Tio. She had this decent bond with Dion, right? So I'm not going to count her out just yet. Then we have Steve Jones, who I also think is a potential winner. I think it's going to be tough for him because I think, again, he is going to go to the end with Byron and probably lose to him. And if not Byron, he's probably going to lose to Calvin. But if he goes to the end with Gina and Trish, I think he could take it. He has had decent relationships, but he also has had some pretty significant dislikes on the board as well. I think he was like hating on somebody or whatever. So there are people on the jury that do not like him. There are also people on the jury that do like him, but I don't know if they like him more than anybody else here. So I think it's going to be a tough final 3 for him, no matter who he sits against, but he could still win. And the one person that I don't think has any shot at winning, it's Trish every day. I don't know how she's even still here. She has just been tagging along to this Final 4 alliance that for some reason she's a part of, even though she has not voted with them, like, at all. Yeah, I really do not think there's any scenario she wins. I think she loses against every single one of these other 4 here. So Yeah. Weird game for her, but it's fine. Whatever. All right, on the beach. We got Steve the Idol. He's going to have to play it tonight. He could make some move here, I guess. We now have Byron and Calvin in a final two, a very strong final two. They have an unbreakable relationship. And we got the four-person alliance that has controlled this game. Kinda, I guess. We got Byron, Calvin, Steve, and Trish. However, Trish is not really in this alliance, and it's very much possible that they take out Trish over Gina. I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Steve and Byron with an unbreakable relationship, as well as Calvin and Byron, and Gina and Calvin. This relationship is definitely one to watch out for. Gina also has a strong bond with Byron. Trish and Gina hate each other still. Trish and Byron with a medium bond. So Byron likes Gina more than Trish. Gina and Steve also have a medium bond, so Steve also likes Gina more than Trish. Calvin doesn't even like Trish. And then Steve and Calvin have a small bond. So I think even though Trish is in this alliance, I think she might be the next to go. Reward is going to go to Byron. He wins an advantage in the next immunity challenge. And does he win immunity? No, Steve takes it. Whoa, okay. So he definitely can make a move here. He's going to have immunity. He's going to have to play the idol so he can save somebody. This could be huge for him. I do think he's going to play it on Byron, though, which is not going to be great because I do think he needs him gone. But I don't know. It could also be too early to take him out because I think he might need him gone at Final Four. He honestly might need his vote. I don't know. On the beach, Steve and Trish find something in common and find something in common again. Is Steve going to play his idol on Trish? Maybe. That could be the case. All right, we're at Tribal. Steve has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And if anyone has a hidden immunity idol and would like to play it, now's the time to do so. Steve stands up. He is going to use his idol on Byron. Unfortunate for Trish. I think that means her game is done here. But Byron, safe tonight. Any votes cast against Byron will not count. I will read the votes. The first vote goes to Trish. One vote Trish. Next vote goes to Gina. One vote Gina, one vote Trish. And the next one goes to Trish. Two votes Trish, one vote Gina. And the next one goes to Gina. Oh, okay. Two votes Gina, two votes Trish, and one vote left. And the 14th person voted out of Sims 4 Survivor Newcrest, 7th member of the jury, is going to be Gina. Oh. Gina, the tribe has spoken. I guess I shouldn't be surprised because Trish is in the alliance. However, I just had the feeling that it was going to be Trish. It felt that way. The vibe was there. But regardless, Gina, she played a pretty solid game considering she was playing from the bottom from like the merge on. But unfortunately, it just caught up with her. She didn't really have enough allies. She had good relationships, but they were not strategically linked with her. So it does kind of make sense to take her out here. Also, she has a much better story in front of a jury over Trish. But yeah, anyway, Gina, she's gone. It is Byron, Steve, and Trish who vote for Gina. Calvin throws a vote on Trish as well as Gina. Okay, interesting. I did think Byron was gonna vote Trish out here, but he does not. All right, well, anyway, we move on to part 2 of the finale. The Final Four Alliance have become the Final Four of the season. Now, the question is, who's gonna win? Probably Byron, I guess. Unbreakable relationships, Calvin and Byron, Steve and Byron. Trish and Steve now have a strong bond, as do Trish and Byron. And then Trish and Calvin with a mild dislike, Steve and Calvin with a small bond. So Calvin needs this immunity, I think. I think Steve and Trish will both vote Calvin out. I think Byron does not vote him out, but I'm not sure he votes with him, though. Who would they vote out? Probably Trish. Yeah, seems to be Trish. Okay. Immunity goes to Byron. Okay. He confirms his spot at Final Tribal Council, and I think he's won, right? Like, this is pretty much going to be a steamroll for Byron, I think. Maybe not, though. I don't know. He is impressing the rest of the team, though. Back at camp, he wins the immunity. Everybody's like, wow, you did great. We're at Tribal Council. We got the Final Four here. Byron, Calvin, Steve, and Trish. Byron has the necklace, cannot be voted for tonight. Everybody else is eligible. It is time to vote. And the first vote goes to Calvin. One vote, Calvin. Next vote goes to Trish. One vote, Calvin. One vote, Trish. And the next vote goes to Trish. Two votes Trish, one vote Calvin. And the final vote goes to Calvin. We are tied. So it is 2 Calvin, 2 votes Trish. We're going to do a revote, right? No, we're just going to go straight into fire making. Okay. And the person who loses fire making and will be eliminated is going to be Trish. Trish, the tribe has spoken. Kind of funny that she goes out in fire. I did not think that was going to be her storyline this season, but whatever. She was never going to win anyway, so it's fine. What a weird game for her. She was like in this alliance, but not really. She was just kind of doing her own thing the whole time. She was kind of a goat to the end. And honestly, I think it would have made a lot more sense to just take out Calvin here for Byron, but oh well. Either way, good for you, Trish, I guess. But she was never going to win, so who cares? The vote is Steve and Trish. They vote for Calvin. Byron and Calvin, they vote for Trish. That makes sense. Trish loses fire, and we're going to go to final tribal council. We got the final three here. Byron Snooze, Calvin Kirby, and Steve Jones. One of these men is going to win this game. They pitch their case to the jury. The 8-person jury, they ask their questions, and then they cast their vote for the winner, and it is time to crown another Sims 4 Survivor winner. The first vote goes to Steve. One was Steve. Second vote goes to Calvin. One vote Steve, one vote Calvin. Third vote goes to Byron. One vote Steve, one vote Calvin, and one vote Byron. And the fourth vote goes to Calvin. We got 2 votes Calvin, 1 vote Steve, 1 vote Byron. And the fifth vote goes to Byron. 2 votes Calvin, 2 votes Byron, 1 vote Steve. Sixth vote goes to Byron. We got 3 votes Byron, 2 votes Calvin, 1 vote Steve. And the 7th vote goes to Calvin. Whoa. So it is 3 Byron, 3 Calvin, 1 vote Steve, and it is going to come down to the final vote. I imagine it's probably not going to go to Steve, so this is probably for the win. The 8th and final vote goes to Calvin. What? Congratulations, Calvin. I did not think he was going to beat Byron at the end, but he somehow did it. That's crazy. What? Wow. I honestly do not know how this happened. Here's the vote breakdown. How did this happen? We got Chase, Gina, Magdalene, and Pez voting for Calvin. Okay, Gina makes a lot of sense. He had an unbreakable relationship with her. Chase didn't really have a relationship with any one of these. So I guess that kind of checks out. Pez, I don't remember if he liked any of them. And then Magdalene was in an alliance with Calvin, but Calvin voted her out. So I thought she would have been a Byron vote, but I guess not. Maybe she was like looking at her own boot as like Calvin undermining Byron, like going behind his back and showing that he did in fact have power over Byron. You know, kind of making herself more important to the game than she probably was. Byron votes are Clay, Dion, and Trish. Dion and Trish definitely checks out. Clay, I don't think Clay liked anybody on this season, so sure. And then Tio is the sole Steve vote. I do think Tio was on a tribe with Steve and had a decent relationship with him at the beginning, right? I don't know. I guess that kind of makes sense. Fan favorite is going to go to Trish. Okay, I guess. I mean, she was kind of funny on this season. Why not? But there you have it. That's our season. Here's our elimination order. We got Malcolm Fitzherbert in 18th place. In 17th, we've got Rick Ogava. In 16th, we got Ron to Plunder. In 15th, we've got Very Cool. In 14th, we've got our robbed queen, Iana. Honestly, I think she would have run this season if she had not been sort of swap screwed. But whatever. In 13th, we have Jax Karem. In 12th, we have Melanie Troy. In 11th, we got Dion Mustang. In 10th, we got Chase Green. In 9th, Tia Corazon. In 8th, Pez Oswald. In 7th, Clay McCaughlin. In 6th, Magdalene Von Fries. In 5th, Gina Kimber. In 4th, our fan favorite, Trish Everyday. In 3rd, Steve Jones. Our runner-up, Byron Snooze. And our winner, Calvin Kirby. So, whoa, what is happening here? Okay, most immunity wins is Byron with 3. Why is it like this? I don't know. Anyway, Calvin got 2, Steve got 2, Magdalene, Tio, and Trish all got 1. Now we got most votes received is Steve with 16, we got Gina with 13, Chase with 10, Tio had 8, Clay, Jax, and Rhonda had 7, Malcolm and Trish had 6, Byron, Dion, Magdalene, Melanie, and Pets got 5. Iana and Rick had 4. Calvin had 2, and Very Cool had 1 when she was idled out of the game. Most strategic, we got Calvin, number 1. Sure, why not? Then we got Byron, number 2. Yeah, sure, why not? I think these two are kind of interchangeable. And I guess Calvin, since he won, he should take the number 1 spot. And then we got Trish, number 3. No. Who would I put at number 3? I think probably just Steve. I think that kind of makes sense. I also think Gina could be there, potentially. Maybe like a Tio, but also Tio, like I don't think he lasted long enough to get that spot. So let's say Steve. But there you have it. That is our season. All hail our current reigning Calvin Kirby. This was a fun season. I think I'm gonna continue on at the very least for the next season, but let me know how you feel about it. Do you like that I'm bringing in these essentially OCs, I guess? Or would you rather see the premates? I don't know. I mean, I kind of dipped my toe in the water with Sexy Man on Gibby Point. I don't know what the response to that was. Nobody really commented on it, so who knows? But either way, I had fun this season. I'm gonna at least try 42 and see how the response is. And if that doesn't really work out, then, I don't know, we'll do something else or something. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.